How did I end up jumping off my stand-up paddleboard into the freezing and beautiful Lake Garda? Well, while in Italy, my brother and I decided to head north to a place where the Italians vacation. We took a train from Reggio up to Desenzano del Garda, a city at the southern end of Lake Garda. After grabbing lunch in Desenzano, we grabbed a ferry map to plot out how we'd get up to Riva del Garda. We realized that the next ferry didn't leave for a couple of hours, so we sat back in one of the many parks that Desenzano has and just relaxed. We eventually boarded the ferry and realized just how long this trip was going to take. Our expected arrival time was 4 hours after we got on our first ferry, so needless to say, we would not be traveling nearly as fast as the animation showed earlier. The 4 hours went by pretty quickly as I spent most of my time either reading or just enjoying the absolutely gorgeous scenery around me. After docking at Riva del Garda, we quickly checked into our hostel and started exploring the city. The city was as beautiful as the rest of Lake Garda. It reminded me of something out of a video game. After getting lost several times, we returned to our hostel and rested until that night where there was a festival going on right outside our hostel. On the final day at Lake Garda, we finally got around to doing one of the things that I had wanted to do since we first got here. Now it's to stand up paddleboard on Lake Garda. We originally planned on going to the mountain I was pointing to there, but the Peller wind, a wind that blows constantly in the morning from the north, quickly made a stop to those plans. Slightly exhausted from trying to fight the wind, we turned around and just started to explore our local area. Oh, and of course I had to jump into the freezing water. The water was around 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which, although it doesn't sound like it, is quite cold, especially on a day as hot as it was then. I quickly swam back to my board and let the sun dry me off. After the refreshing dip, we just continued to explore around until our time limit on the stand-up paddleboards were up. When our time was up, we slowly made our way back through the little river where the dock where we rented our stand-up paddleboard was located. We finally made our way back to the dock, exhausted but relaxed. After we finished that, we ended up catching the next ferry back down to Desenzano, then a couple of trains back to Reggio. Overall, Riva del Garda was one of the most beautiful cities that I've visited in Italy. Normally, people think of Rome or Florence, but there's a special place in my heart for Riva del Garda. I hope you all enjoyed this, and until next time, this is Adventurous Alex.